Hey, what's up guys? Bajheera here. Had an awesome back workout today, and I wanted to share it with you, so here we are. Starting it off with some deadlifts. This is what I normally do for most of my workouts. I will start off my workout with the most complex lift, for the appropriate day. So for example, on leg days, I'll do my squats first. On chest day, I'll do my bench first. And of course, on my pull days, I will do my deadlifts first. So for me, it's kind of like the opposite of pre-exhaustion. I really want to be fresh and strong for my biggest lifts, and that's what I'm doing here. Getting warmed up. And this is actually a weight that, was actually pretty heavy for me when I was first starting to deadlift. So I'm really proud to see so much progress over a short period of time, because I did only start training legs over this winter, actually. Since I was a distance runner, never really trained legs. But now that I'm trying to get more into a bodybuilding competitive form, definitely got to train legs. So I'm working really hard, making some progress, and it feels good. Still on a bit of a diet, so I don't think I'm absolutely just as diesel strong as I could be, but still lifting pretty good weights, at least for my own personal record, and feeling good about that. So still getting warmed up. This is getting into the weight that is getting kind of heavy for me, so it's time to really try to use good form. I feel like my form might be a little bit off in some of these lifts, but after doing this entire day's worth of workouts, I am feeling no strain on my lower back. Definitely feeling some fatigue in the backs of my legs, up into my butt and into my hips and stuff. So I think I did these lifts right, and I really can't complain. Sorry if the form isn't absolutely perfect, but lifting heavy weight and feeling good about it. So to talk about deadlift form a little bit, the way that I think about it, definitely want to get real low, almost like it's a squat. And just like when you're squatting, I was really trying to explode through the ground with my heels. So of course you're using your upper back and your shoulders to lift this thing off the ground. But what's really giving me my force is keeping my upper back and my arms just locked as tight as possible. I don't mean locked at the elbows necessarily, but just staying really strong, really tight, and allowing all that power that's shooting down through the ground, through my heels, from my hamstrings and my hips and my butt, really allow that explosive force to just lift this bar right up off the ground as if it weighed nothing. So one of the things that I'm doing here is I'm lifting and I'm driving with my hips, pushing down through the ground with my heels, driving forward with my hips, trying to keep my upper back and my shoulders real tight and strong, and that's how I get that bar up there. Real easy, just nice and explosive, and pull it through. I'm not trying to just explode just without any sort of there we go. This is maybe not the best clip to talk about me talking about trying to have some sort of control, because a lot of these lifts I'm just running up to this bar, getting pumped and blasting it off the ground. But one of the pretty much the best tips that I've found for my deadlift is to keep your upper body just as tight as possible. Keep it strong, keep it tense, and let your legs do the work. I know that deadlifts are a back exercise, but this is one of the ways that I've been able to sort of train my legs really, really often, as I'll do legs, chest, and I'll do deadlifts in my pull days, so that it's still getting some leg action. Because for me, I feel deadlifts a lot in my legs, just because I am using them as a huge driving force in performing the actual lift. But finished up my deadlifts for today. Really only went to 335. Felt like that was plenty high for today, because I did 6x6 of 315, which is, I think it might be the highest working set I've ever done. So I'm feeling strong, feeling good. Just didn't really feel the need to go all that much heavier. So now I'm taking all of them weights off the bar except for the 245s, and I'm trying to get a little bit more out of my back with these standing rows. Really trying to pull with instead of trying to pull it with your arms so much, I'm really trying to drive my elbows back, and I'm not really leaning over that heavily, because I'm trying to target a little bit more in the lower part of my back with these lifts. But that's what I'm going after right here, and then of course I'll flip my grip over, get a little bit different sort of activation in the same general part of my back with a similar motion. Do some overhand rows, and then I'll do some underhanded upright rows as well. Really sticking my chest out, really sticking my butt out, and pulling with my elbows backwards, not really trying to worry too much about pulling with my wrists up to my shoulders like we do when we're going with the sort of bent over rows for rear delts. This is for my back, so I'm really trying to pull with my elbows, and that's a really good thing to keep in mind whenever you're doing really any kind of back work. At least something that's helped me out a lot is, rather than focusing on pulling with your hands or with your wrists, all you gotta do is just lock your hands on whatever you're trying to pull, and let your elbows do the work. Because if you pull with your elbows, sort of trying to draw your elbows down or to your body, that's gonna really activate a lot of your back. At least that's what it does for me. So even on something like this, this lat pull down machine, this is something that you guys will be able to find hopefully at just about any gym you go to. And if you can't find a gym, then you can of course try to do pull-ups. And if you can't do pull-ups, just because you're not strong enough, what you can do is jump up, hold yourself, and go down as slowly as possible, and that will eventually over time build your pull-up strength. But regardless, this is what I'm trying to do here, is trying to pull with my elbows, trying to activate the width of my back, and allow those big old wings to grow. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. But definitely feeling like I think one of the things that fatigues the most for me right now is actually my forearms. After a while, after doing all these pulling exercises, my forearms actually start to get tired. So really trying to dig in, hang on as tight as I can, and grow those forearm muscles as well, and let that back really grow. And here you can see me leaning back a little bit, trying to activate just a slightly different part of my back, but still trying to pull down rather than doing the rows where you're pulling up. And this is a machine that I've really enjoyed. The motion is definitely quite locked in, so you don't really have like a lot of leeway in terms of where you're actually, pulling in terms of like horizontal leeway. But what this lets me do is really dig into my back, really squeeze really far back, and engage with the sort of the middle part of my back. And I mean middle like vertically, like the really like close into my spine, those muscles. Of course you're gonna get some big lat movement when you've got the weights so far away from you, but when you really pull in, you can get the muscle tissue right up next to your spine, really drive those shoulders together. Some way I visualize it sometimes is almost like you're trying to like crush an empty Coke can behind your shoulder blades. Like if somebody put a Coke can behind your shoulder blades and you pulled your elbows backwards and you actually try to crunch that can with your shoulder blades. That's what a lot of these pulling exercises, that's sort of one of the things I keep in mind there. And that helps me really drive far back and get that really big stretch and squeeze action that I'm going for in a lot of these exercises, because I lift heavy on my compound lifts, but then for all the accessory movements like these rows and stuff, I'm really not lifting all that heavy. Like I allow my reps to go as low as 4 to 6 for my working sets on my big compound movements, but I've never really gone super heavy on these accessory movements. I'm still doing 8, 10, 12 reps on a lot of these things. And that's because that's partially out of habit, but I've also gotten a lot of really good results with doing lots of volume. And not only volume in terms of like all the sets of deadlifts that I was doing, but just lots of actually high volume sets. And if you're curious, all these exercises that I'm showing you, pretty much my rule of thumb at this point in my training is I'm doing 6 sets of everything. So that excludes my primary lifts for the day. My primary lifts for the day, I'm doing like, this might be inadvisable, that's just how I like to train. I'm doing like up to 16 sets of these deadlifts, like 16 sets of squats. But then all the accessory movements, I'm really just doing 6 solid sets in most cases. Just doing 6 sets, cranking it out, getting the job done. And of course, you guys are curious about what I do for my abs. This is one of the things I've been doing recently. Been doing some weighted abs, just really suck in your stomach close, as tight as possible, almost like you're, trying, you got a gut and you want to suck in your gut. It almost feels like that is what's pulling your abs real tight into your body, and crunching while your abs are sucked in really tight. And that'll help bring your abs, closer into your body. Because you can, what I did when I was younger is I would try to just flex my abs in general, but my stomach would actually kind of stick out a little bit. It still does. That's partially just because of the way my body's formed. But if you suck your abs in real tight and then perform the crunch, it'll help, at least for me it has, helped me build a little bit tighter ab plate. And that's just some random tips to think about when you're working out. Because when I'm making these videos, I want to share with you what my workouts are, just in case you're interested or in case you want to learn from it. But I try to scatter in a few tips here and there. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Really hope you enjoyed watching it, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!